Photos taken at Ballarat Botanical Gardens. This is where the photos were taken. Prime Minister's Avenue. Australia's first Prime Minister, Edmund Barton. Edmund Barton was Prime Minister in the years 1901 to 1903. Australia's second Prime Minister, Alfred Deakin. Alfred Deakin was Prime Minister in the years 1903 to 1904 and Prime Minister again in 1905 to 1908 and again in 1908 to 1910. Australia's third Prime Minister, John Christian Watson. John Christian Watson was Prime Minister in 1904. Australia's fourth Prime Minister, George Houston Reid. George Houston Reid was Prime Minister in the years 1904 to 1905. Australia's fifth Prime Minister, Andrew Fisher. Andrew Fisher was Prime Minister in the years 1908 to 1909 and Prime Minister again in 1910 to 1913 and again in 1914 to 1915. Australia's sixth Prime Minister, Joseph Cook. Joseph Cook was Prime Minister in the years 1913 to 1914. Australia's seventh Prime Minister, William Morris Hughes. William Morris Hughes was Prime Minister in the years 1915 to 1923. Australia's eighth Prime Minister, Stanley Melbourne Bruce. Stanley Melbourne Bruce was Prime Minister in the years 1923 to 1929. Australia's ninth Prime Minister, James Henry Scullin. James Henry Scullin was Prime Minister in the years 1929 to 1932. Australia's 10th Prime Minister, Joseph Aloysius Lyons. Joseph Aloysius Lyons was Prime Minister in the years 1932 to 1939. Australia's 11th Prime Minister, Earl Christmas Crafton Page. Earl Christmas Crafton Page was Prime Minister in 1939. Australia's 12th Prime Minister, Sir Robert Gordon Menzies. Sir Robert Gordon Menzies was Prime Minister in the years 1939 to 1941 and Prime Minister again in 1949 to 1966. Australia's 13th Prime Minister, Arthur William Fadden. Arthur William Fadden was Prime Minister in 1941. Australia's 14th Prime Minister, John Curtin. John Curtin was Prime Minister in the years 1941 to 1945. Australia's 15th Prime Minister, Francis Michael Ford. Francis Michael Ford was only Prime Minister for 7 days, 6th to 13th July 1945. Australia's 16th Prime Minister, Joseph Benedict Chifley. Joseph Benedict Chifley was Prime Minister in the years 1945 to 1949. Australia's 17th Prime Minister, Harold Edward Holt. Harold Edward Holt was Prime Minister in the years 1966 to 1967. Australia's 18th Prime Minister, John McEwen. John McEwen was Prime Minister in the days 19th of December 1967 to 10th of January 1968. Australia's 19th Prime Minister, John Grey Gorton. John Grey Gorton was Prime Minister in the years 1968 to 1971. Australia's 20th Prime Minister, William McMahon. William McMahon was Prime Minister in the years 1971 to 1972. Australia's 21st Prime Minister, Edward Gow Whitlam. Edward Gow Whitlam was Prime Minister in the years 5th of December 1972 to 11th of November 1975. Australia's 22nd Prime Minister, John Malcolm Fraser. John Malcolm Fraser was Prime Minister in the years 1975 to 1983. Australia's 23rd Prime Minister, Robert James Lee Hawke. Robert James Lee Hawke was Prime Minister in the years 1983 to 1991. Australia's 24th Prime Minister, Paul John Keating. Paul John Keating was Prime Minister in the years 1991 to 1996. Australia's 25th Prime Minister, John Winston Howard. John Winston Howard was Prime Minister in the years 1996 to 2007. Australia's 26th Prime Minister, Kevin Michael Rudd. Kevin Michael Rudd was Prime Minister in the years 2007 to 2010 and Prime Minister again on the 27th of June to 18th of September 2013. Australia's 27th Prime Minister, Julia Eileen Gillard. Julia Eileen Gillard was Prime Minister in the years 2010 to 2013. Julia Eileen Gillard was the first female Prime Minister in Australia. Australia's 28th Prime Minister, Anthony John Abbott. Anthony John Abbott was Prime Minister in the years 2013 to 2015. These are the information I can grab from the Prime Minister's Avenue, but I'm going to add some more details. On the 14th of September 2015, Malcolm Turnbull became the 29th Prime Minister in Australia. On the 24th of August 2018, Scott Morrison became the 30th Prime Minister in Australia. He is our current Prime Minister.